His own blood seeped into the frozen earth, staining the snow with crimson regret. It wasn't enemies from rival gangs who turned on him. It wasn't the law closing in. It was his own kin, the brothers he had nurtured, the bloodline he had sworn to protect. Time dragged on in agonizing slowness. The gale screamed through the pines. His sight faded in and out. Then came the sound of steps, not heavy boots or the click of firearms. A lone woman emerged, lantern in hand, her exhales turning to mist in the biting chill. She should have fled. Logic demanded it. But she dropped to her knees next to him, bundling her scarf against the gash, and murmured words that shattered his expectations. "You're secure now. I won't abandon you." He had no clue of her identity. She was oblivious to his notoriety. Yet as darkness claimed the peaks, the underworld's most dreaded figure grasped a horrifying truth. For the first occasion in his existence, someone remained, not driven by authority, wealth, or terror, but by her own volition, and that decision would reshape their destinies eternally. Stick around till the finale, for the romance ignited on that slope would compel the crime lord to weigh vengeance against salvation. Prior to diving in, remember to tap like on this clip, smash subscribe, and drop a comment with your viewing spot. Alright, let's plunge ahead. Dawn's rays stretched elongated silhouettes over the frost as Vincent Torino stirred awake beneath strange timber rafters. The aroma of evergreen and hearth embers invaded his senses, a far cry from his penthouse's leather and aftershave. His frame throbbed with pains he hadn't felt in ages, each shift igniting fierce echoes of last evening's treachery in his side. A gentle melody floated from an adjacent space, paired with the soft rattle of utensils. Vincent attempted to rise, his palm reflexively seeking the absent pistol. The action sparked agony in his arm, and he stifled a swear that would have rattled his crew. The tune ceased. Steps drew near, delicate and deliberate. The lady from the heights framed the entrance, bearing a hot cup, and wearing authentic worry that Vincent hadn't witnessed in decades. Her ebony locks were tied in a basic tail, and she donned a worn knit top that bore marks of time. She bore no resemblance to the sleek companions who orbited him typically. No luxury attire, no rehearsed grins, no concealed motives etched in her gaze, just sincerity and an indefinable essence he struggled to pinpoint. "You're conscious," she noted, placing the cup on a modest stand by the mattress. "How's the pain?" Vincent scrutinized her features, hunting for the cues he'd mastered in his trade. The subtle eye strain signaling dread, the artificial curve of lips masking schemes. The shift in tone when his identity dawned on folks. None appeared. "Feels like a semi-truck plowed into me," he confessed, his timbre gravelly beyond normal. "Where is this?" "My lodge," she answered, inspecting his dressings with skilled touch. "Roughly 15 miles from your discovery spot. Blood loss was severe, but no critical damage. Fortune favored you." Fortune? Vincent nearly chuckled at the notion. Survival owed nothing to chance when your sibling lodges, lead in your spine, and abandons you to predators. When those dubbing you can deem your essence cheaper than their aspirations. "Your name?" he inquired instead. "Elena," she replied, locking gazes squarely. "Elena Santos. And yours?" Here it came. The pivot where dynamics altered, where alarm would seep into her demeanor, where she'd grasp she'd rescued a beast, where escape plots would brew. "Vincent," he uttered softly, monitoring for any sign of awareness. Blank. Merely the unchanged tender regard, the unwavering composure. She was either a master performer or truly ignorant of his infamy. In Vincent's realm, that rarity rivaled desert blizzards. Elena shifted to the pane, drawing aside plain fabric drapes to admit brighter illumination. The vista unveiled boundless ridges, unspoiled powder, and solitude stretching infinitely. Such seclusion would have triggered alarms in his guards. "You reside here solo," he probed. She affirmed with a nod, eyes lingering on the scenery. 3 years running. Serene, silent. Weeks can pass sans human contact. "No fears?" "A lady isolated in the wilds." Elena pivoted toward him, and briefly, a shadow crossed her visage, perhaps sorrow, before a faint grin masked it. People scare me more than beasts or packs, she stated. Creatures are upfront with their aims. A narrative lurked there, Vincent discerned, strata under her benevolence, hinting at motives for embracing isolation over society. His fortune rested on deciphering subtext, and Elena Santos held tomes in her silences. Those who attacked you, she remarked, easing into a seat near the bed. They won't return, right? Vincent's mandible clenched. The deceit burned raw, scorching his core like venom. Marcus, his junior sibling, shielded and guided like offspring. Roberto, his second in command, who dined at his board and professed kinship. Their scheme flawless, striking when isolated, defenses lax. No, he responded at last. They assume I'm gone. Positive. Elena's reply startled him with its resolve. Regardless of your deeds, whatever drew you there, no soul merits freezing solo. Vincent gazed at her. In his domain, leniency equaled frailty. Empathy a peril that invited demise. Yet this female had jeopardized herself for a hemorrhaging unknown, demanding zilch, anticipating mere civility, the antithesis of his existence. Why aid me, he questioned. You could have proceeded, feigned blindness. Elena fell silent a while, digits sketching designs on her seat's faded cloth. Because I've endured abandonment by guardians meant to shield, she murmured gently. I've known betrayal turning trust to terror. The phrasing struck Vincent like a strike, not the content but the delivery. Insight born of ordeal, ache from disloyalty. Who wounded you? The query slipped out, harsher than planned. Elena's grin held melancholy and remoteness. A man claiming affection, vowing safeguard, nearly erasing me wholly. Vincent sensed an odd surge in his breast. Fury, yet not his typical icy vendetta toward foes. This protective, intimate. His whereabouts now? Vanished, Elena declared plainly. I ensured it. Her tone's quiet closure conveyed volumes. Elena Santos transcended savior. She was a victor of personal skirmishes. Recover, she instructed, rising and adjusting her knit. Soup's next. Strength's essential. As she neared the exit, Vincent hailed her. Elena. She glanced back, brows arched. Gratitude, he expressed, for preserving me. Her beam authentic now, illuminating her gaze. Gratitude for permitting it. Post-departure, Vincent fixated on the lumber overhead, thoughts churning amid fatigue. 2 decades erecting barriers, fostering detachment, ensuring proximity equaled peril. But this outsider breached all without effort. Beyond, flakes resumed descent, obscuring paths leading her to him prior eve. Ere long, no evidence of his arrival to this limbo betwixt former existence and forthcoming. Presently, merely Vincent, not the dreaded Torino successor, not the figure whose title silenced halls or ignited conflicts. Solely an injured outsider tended by a female seeking naught but his essence. Frightening yet freeing concurrently, though Vincent recognized its transience. His clan presumed demise, prompting swift power grabs, influence erasures, empire erection atop his tomb. They'd misjudged him previously, overlooked his endurance beyond projectiles and heights, confused clemency with vulnerability. Imminently, he'd confront Elena's haven versus retribution's call. Yet not presently. Today, he'd embrace being a mortal appreciative of an unknown's benevolence who'd opted rescue when existence opted extinction. The timbre of Elena dicing produce in the galley anchored Vincent to the tangible. Every steady chop of blade onward echoed this reality. Care sans reciprocity. His device vanished, ruined in assault. His forces dispersed or perished. His domain fracturing as he reclined powerless in another's rest. Nevertheless, for the initial span in 2 decades, Vincent reclaimed a forgotten sensation. Tranquility. Elena's broth was unadorned. Foul stock with roots and self-cultivated spices. No lavish components, no ornate display. Merely heat and porcelain. Vincent had savored elite eateries, dishes eclipsing monthly wages. None surpassed Elena's crafted fare. Skilled chef. He complimented sincere. Elena reclined to her spot, cradling her vessel. Grandma's formula. She preached cuisine infused with care mends beyond remedies. Your grandma seems sagacious. She nurtured me post-parents' fatal crash at my 7th year. Elena's inflection bore resolved mourning from aged loss. Absorbed, reconciled. She instilled that true might often stems from tenderness. Vincent halted, utensil midair. In his sphere, tenderness invited assault. Benevolence frailty foes preyed upon. Yet Elena, survivor of torments propelling her to summits, retained her empathy unscathed. "You," she queried. "Kin." The probe landed like impact. Vincent lowered his tool. Hunger evaporated. "Kin. Once paramount, now venomous." "Believed so," he whispered. "Proved erroneous." Elena appraised his countenance, detecting unmasked anguish. The assailants were blood. Vincent assented, voice unreliable. "Blood forges no kin." Elena intoned softly. "Affection does. Fidelity does. Those enduring beside you in gloom, that's true kin." "Then none for me," Vincent conceded, words rasping. "You possess one now." The declaration lingered betwixt them. Elena voiced it sans theatrics, as casually as weather chat. Yet Vincent sensed it root in his core, tangible and firm. 3 days blurred in recovery and unforeseen serenity. Elena vanished for stretches, returning laden with fuel or provisions from concealed stores. She'd perused by flames as Vincent slumbered, her aura a constant solace novel to him. By day 4, he stood steady sans vertigo. Elena discovered him at the glass, surveying blanketed crests. "Agitated?" she ventured. "Pondering," he retorted. On the horizon, Elena aligned beside him. Dawn's glow highlighted amber specks in her cocoa orbs, and Vincent noted he'd etched her traits subconsciously. The tiny mark over her brow, her lip nibble in focus, the true beam reshaping her wholly. "You might linger," she suggested softly. "Beyond awaits agony and strife." Vincent's core constricted, the proposition alluring immeasurably. Vanish amid ridges with Elena, forge authenticity, purity, discover untainted affection sans authority's toxin or deceit. But specters haunted his repose. They slaughtered blameless souls, Elena. My crew had dependents, offspring. Marcus transcended my betrayal. He shattered multitudes for greed. Returning invites peril, yet halts further carnage. Elena hushed extendedly, her timbre composed yet sorrowful upon speaking. "I shan't impede, but grasp this. The fellow I rescued on that rise, recuperating here, he's decent, compassionate, cracks awful quips, truly attends my words. That individual merits alternate paths." She confronted him squarely. "But the figure you envision reverting to, steeped in brutality and reprisal, I'll remain stranger to him, and grieve that void daily." Vincent experienced a fracture within. She perceived him. Sans notoriety, dread, dominance. She beheld Vincent Torino, the human, and battled for his essence. "Suppose I conclude it," he posed. "Re-enter, resolve necessities, then rejoin you." Elena's beam poignantly tender. "Then you'd miscomprehend that domain. It ensnares eternally." She nailed it, Vincent acknowledged. His lived choices scarred indelibly, stains eternal. Yet viewing Elena, hope and dread clashing in her mien, Vincent elected a path astounding all acquaintances. "Then I abstain," he declared. Elena's gaze expanded. "Pardon. I forego return. Remain with you. Yield empire to Marcus. Let victory illusion prevail. We evaporate. Renew. Construct afresh." Joy briefly radiant on Elena's features. Then pragmatism intruded, headshake ensuing. Regrets would brew. Resentment toward me for barring closure. "Elena heed. I've observed past evasion's toll. It pursues, corrupts foundations. Sans confrontation, sans reconciliation, it'd demolish us." Vincent marveled at her. She released him potentially eternally, loving sufficiently for his completeness, even excluding her. In that instant, Vincent comprehended his ancestors' adage, mightiest alloy tempers in fiercest blaze. Elena Santos endured inferno, emerging unembittered, sagacious, potent enough for total devotion yet release. "Suppose alternate route," he ventured gradually. "Resolve sans embodying anticipated fiend?" "Elaborate." Vincent's cognition accelerated, elements aligning. My sibling mirrors my former mindset. Brute force, coercion. But game shift? Sans violent reclamation, dismantle internally. Elena's gaze keen and curiously. Ruin your lineage's venture. No lineage remains. Nor venture, malignancy. But I hold graves locales, Elena. Every sordid secret, illicit scheme, tainted tie. Terminate sans gunfire. Then I reunite with you. Tabula rasa. Sans inheritance. Sans adversaries. Sans flight. Merely Vincent and Elena forging authenticity. Elena pondered lengthily. Digits etching on ice pane. Her eventual words reflective. Perilous. Premature detection. Impossible deeming me deceased. Even suspicion wouldn't foresee self-destruction of legacy. Duration. Vincent mulled. Half year, perhaps swifter cautiously. Elena averted from glass, face inscrutable. Vincent's pulse thundered. All hinged on her reply. Not solely vendetta schemes, but futurity. Love's prospect, atonement, transcending transgressions. One stipulation, Elena uttered finally. Name it. Not solo. I assist. Vincent chilled. Outright no, Elena. These figures lethal beyond conception. If linked to me, ensure disconnection. Elena's tone unyielding. You noted, they presume demise, but Vincent Torino's specter requires unseen confederates. Untraceable assets. Mountain dweller perhaps, yet no lifelong recluse. Skills vital. What skills? Elena's grin enigmatic, edge dangerously. Those preserving me from potent foes' demise wish. Those erasing him traceless upon my decree. Vincent regarded her anew. Elena Santos exceeded lifesaver. War victor comprehending violence's price, yet paying when requisite. Allies then. He conceded deliberately. Allies. Elena concurred, proffering palm. Vincent clasped, noting roughness, robust clasp. Elena's saga, mountain impetus, surpassed appearances. As flakes resumed beyond lodge pain, Vincent Torino reconciled a week prior terrifying verity. He ceased being Chamber's deadliest. Fortnight hence, Elena's digits maneuvered with operative exactness, unveiling her portable, keys untouched triennially. Display ignited, exposing cipher dossiers and covert webs most ignored. Vincent observed across compact board, intrigue and unease vying. This diverged from tender Highlander rescuer. This shadowed, secretive entity. Finances initially, Elena muttered, scanning code streams. Sibling active post-departure. Trio fresh dummies, duo overseas funds, singular intriguing alliance with Koslov syndicate. Vincent's jaw rigidified. Koslov savage, exceeding familial norms. Marcus collaboration spelled civilian fatalities. Additional stains on his ledger, posthumously. Such prowess how? He queried, witnessing Elena breach expert challenging barriers. Ex-spouse exceeded abuse. She relayed sans glance. Federal prosecutor, crime syndicate expert. Absorbed techniques, networks, flaws. Upon vanishing him, weaponized his lessons. Her nonchalant vanishing him chilled Vincent's marrow. He dispatched in wrath, commerce, defense, but Elena's delivery meteorological, detached, methodical, conclusive. His fate. Elena's digits briefly halted. Vehicular mishap. Lamentable. Brake malfunction on incline. Occurs sans upkeep. Vincent examined her outline in monitor's azure hue. Gentle contours unaltered, yet predatory infiltrated her mien. Acknowledging violence's kinship when essential. You tampered brakes. Facilitated fate's intervention. Elena amended. Richard Moss incarcerated while sidelining crimes. Assaulted spouse, intimidated testifiers, shredded proof suiting. Existence improved post-conclusion. She summoned fresh display. Torino fund transfers. Sibling divesting holdings, properties, stakes, paternal artifacts. Priming major shift. Vincent advanced, analyzing figures. Trigenerational edifice reduced to pixels. Felt like legacy evaporation instantaneous. Flight prep, Vincent grasped. Loot and vanish pre-theft detection. Beyond flight. Observe acquisitions. Elena flagged deals. Armaments, protection, monitoring gear. Sibling transcends familial theft. War gearing. Fragments coalesced horrifically in Vincent's psyche. Marcus transcended leadership seizure. Underworld domination plotted, Koslov tie. Armed stockpiles, divestitures, catastrophic coup promising mass graves. Accelerate, Vincent urged, rising abruptly, seat grating wood. If Marcus schemes suspected, adhere plan. Elena's inflection sliced panic frigidly. Sentiment slays, Vincent. Your tales taught that. Recall. Correct, Vincent loathed her accuracy. Formerly, he'd embodied poise, foresight amid reactions. But personal altered. Moreover, Elena proceeded, fresh display. Surpassing war halt. Prevention absolute unearthed. Novel pain depicted intricate nexus. Accounts, proxies, crucially Marcus federal dialogues. Vincent iced. FBI collaboration. Months ongoing. Dates. Intel feed on Ops 6 Moons pre-assassination. Not mere kin deceit. Vincent. Agency snare. Betrayal plunged profounder than conceivable. Sibling not solely fatal intent. Internal sabotage systematic. All affiliations, pacts, loyalties, Marcus peddled. Our imprisoned tally. Elena synced detentions to collaboration chronology. 17 hitherto. Encompassing cousin Tony's squad. Vincent shuttered lids, envisioning trusting visages, boss callers. Sacrificed via siblings' barter. Betrayal's mass crushed shoulders tangibly. Further, Elena murmured gently. FBI chartsy seaboard net. Beyond yours, all linkages. Italians, Irish, Russians. Coordinated collapse, eradicating tri-state syndicates. Timeline. Forthcoming month. Post-final divestiture. Vincent unveiled eyes. Elena recoiled instinctively from glimpse chill. Not ire, gelid peril. Days, not weeks, he whispered. Elena assented, unspoken accord. Meticulous blueprint evaporated. Survival imperative, war aversion. Truster's safeguard from sibling sellout. My role. Elena posed. Vincent truly beheld her. Lifesaver, love illuminator, hell companion unflinching. Merited superior to violence deceit sphere. Merited calm, yet selected him, he her. Inextricably allied, in romance, conflict sequel. Aid rescuing those who'd eliminate you unknowingly. He candid. Elena's grin knife keen. Fortunate ignorance eternal. She pivoted to device, digits resuming. Details sibling safeguards, patterns, cycles, vulnerabilities. Halt demands mirroring his cognition. Vincent drew seat nearer, frames contacting over display. Externally, powder-blanketed summits immaculately. Internally, duo hunters schemed with endurance of victors perceiving praise, false triumph. Marcus perpetually deemed superior. Vincent initiated. Initial error. Second, presuming honor-barred legacy ruin. Elena's digits suspended. Third, Vincent's grin hell freezing. Betraying sans consequence. Dynamics shifting. Marcus months plotting demise, realm demolition. Overlooked vital. Vincent endured graver than lead and altitude. Now possessed sibling void. Defender torching existence for cherished. Pursuit imminent. Imminent. Elena's digits stilled as alert blared on display. Pallor overtook. Vincent sensed shift. What? He demanded, nearing encrypted dispatch. They detect survival. Elena breathed, scarce over hearth snap. Marcus issued termination directive. 5 mil for demise evidence. Vincent iced reading specs. Siblings hunt perpetual, erasure relentless. Discovery how. Elena summoned peak path footage. Witness that eve. Trapper's cam snared me bearing you home. Blurry frames depicted Elena's outline on white. Vincent inert, yet respiring evidently to trained eyes. Trapper pedaled to Marcus days prior. Elena tensed fearfully controlled. Identity pursuit sense. Vincent cabin known. Me known. Vincent surged, seat overturning. Decades honed instincts blared threat. Revenge fixation blinded basic. Conceal rest from foes. Window. Elena accessed orbital views of ascents. Vehicular nearest dozen miles. Foot trek snowy. 6 hours terrain savvy. Aerial inbound. Indeed. Elena indicated crimson blip. Duo choppers. Surplus war. Marcus risks nil now. Vincent's cycle choices. Lodge remote, holdable, yet snare ultimate. Hold or flee. Elena's sanctuary core. His means scant to her amassed funds. Then Elena halted ruminations, delved floor planks, extracting armament crate. Elena, what's that? And therein Vincent Torino's saga genuinely commences. Occasionally deliverance arises not from familiar realms, but from outsider perceiving our soul when others view solely transgressions. Romance potent to metamorphosis even iciest cores. To proffer atonement when reprisal appears sole avenue. What did you select? The known gloom of retribution or the ambiguous glow of a second?